And I've heard this argument recently, and I wanted to ask your opinions on it. So it's that if Jesus were to come to America in a modern day time, that Republicans wouldn't let him in. And I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
So the argument is this, is that Jesus was a refugee and therefore we wouldn't let him in. First of all, Jesus actually was not technically a refugee. He was actually going to two parts of the Roman Empire. Egypt was actually under Roman jurisdiction, so he was not technically a refugee. But I guess the argument is that because we want to put our own citizens first and have closed borders, we wouldn't let Christ our Lord come across the southern border. I would agree with them. Like, we don't want like Jesus coming across the southern border illegally. You don't have to let people into your country. It is a privilege, not a right. And right now we've completely diluted that over the last couple of years. And if and when we have immigration, it should be highly qualified people who love America and want to assimilate to our country. And so I guess I would say, why should our country have open borders if we don't do it on the micro? And I would say this, that it actually, as Christians, it's much harder to love our neighbor if all of a sudden we're allowing in tens of millions of people, we have no idea who they are, and we have actually forgotten the neighbors that were here. Understand that there are tens of millions of forgotten Americans of all different skin colors that have been forgotten in this country, and President Trump's run to office and successful election was about basically saying we want to put the American citizenry first. It's more about loving American citizens, not about hating for them. And fundamentally, you need to have a country that first loves its citizens, and then once we generally have our act together, we can have a compassionate immigration system, one that is strictly based in merit to let other people into the country. And I would also just say, allowing 14 million people to bum rush into America has not been good for anybody. It's not good for American citizens. It's not good for native-born Americans. And finally, the last point that I'll make on this is that when a government ceases to understand that it exists first for its own people and not from the people of the other country, you actually don't have a government, you have something else.